Impeachment took yet another major step forward when Nancy Pelosi, Speaker of the House, and sober Lucille Bluth gathered up all the flags she could find for a major announcement.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi announcing to the country and to the world that articles of impeachment against President Trump will proceed. Pelosi telling the American people that Trump has left the U.S. Congress with no choice but to move forward.
Sadly, but with confidence and humility, with allegiance to our founders and a heart full of love for America, today I am asking our chairman to proceed with articles of impeachment.
Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. They finally proposed articles of impeachment. I mean, I knew when they reserved that hearing room that this would be it, but you never know until it really happens. Oh my God, I'm so happy for you guys. Now, Pelosi's announcement comes a day after the latest impeachment hearing, where legal scholars were brought in to give their opinions on impeachment. And most of them agreed that DJT needs to GTFO.
The three experts invited by Democrats arguing that the president's conduct regarding Ukraine is exactly what the founders had in mind when they wrote impeachment into the Constitution.
President Trump's conduct, as described in the testimony and evidence, clearly constitutes impeachable high crimes and misdemeanors under the Constitution.
If we are to keep faith with our Constitution and with our republic, President Trump must be held to account.
If what we're talking about is not impeachable, then nothing is impeachable.
Wow. If this is not impeachable, then nothing is impeachable. Most of us thought that sounded powerful, but Trump probably thinks that just means he can do whatever he wants. Yeah, he heard that and he was like, yay, nothing is impeachable. I can do anything. Look at me. I'm running around with scissors. La, 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 la. Ow, 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 the scissors cut me. The scissors work for the deep state. So, the three constitutional experts called by the Democrats testified yesterday that Trump's actions were like super impeachable. But according to the Republicans on the committee, these people weren't saying this because they're constitutional scholars. No, they were saying it because they're drinking Trump haterade.
Could I begin just with a show of hands? How many on the panel actually voted for Donald Trump in 2016?
I don't think we're obligated to say anything about how we cast our ballots.
Just show of hands.
The gentleman may ask the question. The witnesses don't have to respond.
How many of you supported Donald Trump in 2016? Show of hands.
Not raising our hands is not an indication of an answer, sir.
Okay, can we just agree that people in power should never be asking anyone who they voted for? Like, that's not part of a healthy democracy. There's a reason there's a curtain on the voting booth. It's so you can cast your vote in secret and then shower afterwards, okay? And also, like, the sly way the congressman was interrogating the panel, you know? I felt like I was watching a scene with Christoph Waltz. It's like, you know, so just by a show of hands, how many of you actually voted for Donald Trump? We're all friends here. Come on, you can tell me. And Republicans didn't just say that these law professors were biased. No, they took it one step further and went after their credentials.
We had one professor who just absolutely fictionalized what the president said to meet her own statement. And then another said he was so reluctant to go to impeachment when his tweets from day one nearly have been, he wants to go full speed ahead. So all I got to say is, if you love America, mamas, don't let your babies grow up to go to Harvard or Stanford Law School.
What? Mamas, don't let your babies go to Harvard or Stanford? That took a weird turn. No, because like now I like to imagine that there is some family in the South where a mother just found a Harvard acceptance letter that her daughter hid under the bed. She's horrified. She's like, what is this, Mary Lou? Is this an acceptance letter to Harvard? It's like, Mama, I know you want me to go to Princeton, but this is my dream, Mama. What's the point of living if I can't go to the Kennedy School of Government, Mama? How dare you? How dare you upset your mama like this? What else are you hiding from me? Well, Mama, I'm also gay. I don't care if you're gay. Love is love. You can love whoever you want as long as they didn't go to Harvard. and sleep. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. My new one-man play, Annie, Get Your Degree, will be off Broadway in 2 weeks. Thank you. So basically, that's what happened. All right? Yesterday was a hearing with constitutional scholars that took us one step closer to impeachment. All of it was pretty standard, except for one moment that got everybody talking. And it was when one of the scholars made a joke that backfired hard.
One of the three scholars that Democrats called to testify had to apologize for mentioning the president's 13-year-old son during her testimony. Republicans blasted Stanford law professor Pamela Karlan after she tried to make a point that Mr. Trump does not have the same powers as king.
The Constitution says there can be no titles of nobility. So while the president can name his son Baron, he can't make him a baron.
When you invoke the president's son's name here, when you try to make a little joke out of referencing Baron Trump, that does not lend credibility to your argument. It makes you look mean.
I want to apologize for what I said earlier about the president's son. It was wrong of me to do that.
No, Professor, what were you doing? You were brought in for your legal expertise, not to try and make jokes. The C in C-SPAN doesn't stand for comedy, it stands for Christ, this is boring. And look, I'm not saying the professor had bad intentions, but just as a rule, don't drag Trump's underage son into politics. Especially when you've got these two dead-eyed jamokes to make fun of. I mean, seriously. Look at these two. They look like the world's most affordable personal injury attorneys. Look at them. They look like failed clones of Celino and Barnes. Like, they look like they run a strip club by the airport. And not the classy one, the other one with the bedbug problem.